What's happening, my good people? So today I'm doing a live review of, let's see, the massive revision of the Labor Department. So apparently, now all the normies are want to admit finally that what people have been saying is true, that there's a massive labor shortage. I mean, yeah, it's been said for what about how long now that these companies making ghost jobs, people at these jobs themselves have been telling you that the organization's saying they're hiring, but they're really having a hiring freeze. Yeah, go figure. So, before I go too deep into it, let's go ahead and get on into it. This is gonna be my first time watching this too. I can't wait to see. Oh, I just can't wait. Let's do it. I just want to stop it right there to tell you that if you did that as a normal person, yeah, you'll be fired big time. Probably been getting sued by the company or something if you make that big of a mistake. But hey, it's the government, they can do what they want, and when they mess up, no consequences to it. Let's continue. Yes, like they said, not to this degree. And I'm also going to put out one thing out there too without being too political, but just going to let it be known that those in office are very aware of this. They've had time to go about trying to implement things to fix this or to correct this to a certain extent. They have not. So just putting that out there. Look, hey, everybody share their own political view. I'm not going to get into that much because it's like a 50-50 with each. I'm not even going to say what my view is, but I will not, dismiss the fact that it could have been things going into place to fix this. And like they say, this look, I work data. This not a coincidence, not this big. Let's continue. All right, so I'm gonna stop it right there for another minute. So that part where they said still hiring, but just doing it slowly. Yeah, you know what that's slang for? Hiring freeze. Look, I'm gonna speak facts to you. I work pretty much when it comes to like let's say grants and contracts and things like that. It's not a field that a lot of people are aware of. With that being said, because it's not many people aware of it, it's not that many people doing it, there's plentiful jobs for those who are in the field. And it's usually kind of a barrier of entry because majority of jobs that hire for it wants you to have experience. So it's already almost impossible to get in. Trust me, I know. I got lucky getting in. It was more so with me just kind of knowing how to really sell myself when it comes to the interview process and me kind of just being, a likable person. So with that being said, it's a barrier entry, but it's a good field, pays great. A lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people not gonna be able to get into it. They're gonna keep it a buck with you. With that being said, when I first started doing grants and got my experience in, look, it'll take you about a year or two to really kind of come around and start knowing it. If you're really, really good, it takes you less time than that. I learned my job I want to say like a year or under because it has a lot of transferable skills. After you pretty much kind of get the flow and the timelines of everything and stuff like that, kind of just get, better at organization, seeing how to organize everything you need to. After that, everything kind of flows as it needs to. So it's not hard to learn. It's only as hard as you make it. With that being said, got my experience, moved on to start working other positions, same position, sometimes just different name, but working for different employers, pretty much same thing. Even when I had a job, I had plentiful of opportunities. I'm talking about multiple recruiters reaching out to me about trying to work for their organizations and stuff like that. Here and there, I still get some, but it is barren. When I say barren, it is very few. And that's with me having a very polished resume. I'm talking about, depending on how I want to write it, sometimes I write it where it's only showing 5 years of experience. Sometimes I write it where it's showing 10 years of relevant experience. It just depends on the cap and the amount I'm aiming for. If I'm aiming for a job that's more the 100K range, like upper 100K, like maybe like 160, 180, shoot, maybe even 120, I put like the 10-year venture on there. If it's like between like 70 to 80 or 70 to 90, usually 70 is about the lowest I'm gonna go. Majority is about, 80 and 90 range. Then I put about 5 years on there. So with that being said, yeah, jobs have not been plentiful out here. They've not been plentiful. Um, some of these organizations have been so crooked, besides just making ghost jobs, they've taken some positions and added on a whole nother position to the one. For the example, a grant writer is not a grant manager. Now, a grant manager can do both, but they are two separate positions. One specifically writes the grant, which is before the grant is awarded, then one manages the grant, which is after the grant is awarded, and probably does a lot of preparation prior award as well, and post award. I'm gonna keep it. One is much harder than the other. To me, grant writing is easy. I mean, people out here these days that try to tell you that you could use Chat GPT to write the grant and stuff like that. And to a certain extent, it'll format it good for you, but you got to still have your own data and research. You're not writing a whole grant off Chat GPT. I don't care how many YouTube videos somebody watch to tell you that you can. You can, but you're not gonna get rewarded. I can promise you that. Not for no higher end grants. So, yes, with that being said, one is harder than the other. But my point is that they've been taking some of these jobs and combining into two. So you might have grant manager, but then when you start doing the interview, or sometimes even in the description these days, because they don't really care as much, they'll tell you that you're gonna write the grant too. So now you're getting paid, both positions paid close to the same. Like I would say, like you can find a good grants writer position for between 60K to maybe about 90K. So roughly about the same in pay range. But they combine them both into one and still want to pay the same amount. So now you're doing two jobs at the price of one. Yeah, no bueno. But let's continue on and see what they got to say.
So what about the Federal Reserve's anticipated September interest rate cut? Many Americans are banking on to make loans and credit cards a little more affordable. Most economists agree Wednesday's revision not only cements that cut next month, but it could spur the Fed to make it deeper than originally expected. It's something Chairman Jerome Powell could forecast when he speaks Friday following the annual Economic Policy Summit in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Well, that sounds like that kind of ties that up. Well, I want to even get into the federal interest rate cuts a little bit too. Um, Look, I'm a homeowner, own multiple homes actually. Part of my passive income is also being a landlord. It always baffles me when people say that they're saving up to pretty much buy homes and stuff like that and waiting for a lot of people to lose their homes. Um, Look, I would never try to make my money off somebody else's downfall. So to me that's the wrong thinking. If anything, it's save your money to put yourself in a better position. With that being said, credit cards, look, I got them. I don't use them. Like they would literally be like my last source of income, temporary at that. Once I paid those off, I literally do not use them. I'm talking about I have high amounts of credit available. I do not use them. If I can't save for it or buy it cash, then it's not really for me. And I do that for a reason because by the time I get up there to been to save it up, that's where I really start thinking, okay, well, I'd rather keep my cash and invest in something else, or would I rather go ahead and just buy this thing that I've been, to hype myself up to say that I want. If I still go through and buy it, then I probably really wanted it. If I don't, typically I usually change my mind and don't want it no more after that. Trust me, I've done this multiple times. I've done it with the boat, done it with the ATV. It trust me. If you want the cash enough, then you're gonna keep your cash. If you want the thing enough, then you're gonna go ahead and buy it. But I highly always advise against using credit cards. And that's just coming from somebody who had to literally like get himself out of credit card debt. Not high debt, like how some people out here be having. Like I don't know how y'all get yourself in like 50K and 100K of credit card debt. I don't know how you do that. But look, don't be one of those people. If you are one of those people, look, just keep trying, and I don't know what advice to give you. That's a lot of debt, but keep working your way at chucking that out. But anyways, my good people, that's my review for today's labor market. Well, video that they have on there at least. This is something that we've all known, all been experiencing. Something that the media's been trying to. I don't even know why they even try to push it at this point. Like people don't know. I mean, I guess I understand that there's still some people out there that's kind of ignorant to the mass, but it can't be that many now. It can't be a 50-50. It can't be. So yes, there's a labor shortage. Very, very big labor shortage. Um, with that being said, because there is a labor shortage, just be on the lookout for these jobs that are trying to take advantage as well. Because it people will tell you, like I said, the whole pull your bootstraps up and the thug it out, survive, the whole survivalist mentality. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Look, a dead end job is a dead end job. If it's not paying enough to, survive, which a lot of them are not, and I know this for sure because there's no way that I could ever go back to living on a salary that some of these jobs are paying solely. That's why I thank God, and I'll tell you, I really, really thank God that all the passive income I have is either close to or more than what most jobs pay. If a dead end job is a dead end job, the worst thing you could do is get comfortable staying at that job just because of the fact that it's a job. That's how a lot of people find themselves falling into more and more debt. Because if you can't afford your cost of life today with that job, chances is it's not going to keep getting better just because you stay at that job. If anything, it's quite the opposite. It's going to likely get worse, and that's where you find yourself getting into more debt. If you having to use credit cards and stuff like that or take loans constantly at the job you're at now, then as much as it sucks to say, you need to be looking for a second job that you can work while doing that one, which I know is almost impossible because there's only so much time in a day. Or you need to be trying to find a job that's going to help pay, how much you realistically need to live. And be looking at trying to see what your budget is. Change that up. Because, I mean, everybody's solution want to be to start a business. But, I mean, look at it realistically. If the solution was for everybody to start a business, everybody would have a business. Sometimes it's not always just about worth ethic. Yeah, every business owner going to tell you that because they want to gas themselves up, but it's not always about just starting a business. That's not the end all be all because the fact is that the more businesses, the less everything will cost. Everybody's selling, nobody's buying. It's not like we're trading. So yeah, no, like realistically, you gotta like really just analyze your situation. Who's gonna work best for you? I mean, I'm not saying starting a business won't help. I mean, that might be your forte. You might have something that everybody don't have or very few people have. You might be able to capitalize off of that. But if you can't, then yeah, you got to analyze your situation and see what's going to work for you. Because obviously, like we see in this video, they heavily, heavily downplayed how many jobs are actually in the labor market or that was created by a big margin that they themselves said it's not the usual. meaning it sounds like it's almost intentional. Just saying almost to get them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Other than that, if you guys like the video, then look, hey, like, comment, subscribe. I'm definitely interested to hear your opinions down in the comment section. Other than that, I'm gonna keep them coming. And look, hey, in the future, I do have my own little kind of side business as well. It's not one I do on often, just because, like I said, I don't really have to. But for the most part, it's one of the businesses I do, and I just kind of want to help out, people who either trying to grow their business or already been in business. Like I said, I've been doing contracts and grants that involves writing them and managing them for a long time. So I do also have a business for that too. Not gonna really put it out there as of yet, just because I want to let my page, kind of grow first a little bit more. So if you guys can, like I said, definitely like and hey, help me grow my channel so I can try to help you guys and help bring in some more businesses to rise the charts as well. Because as we all see, it's getting harder and harder out here, and obviously the government ain't gonna look out for us, so we gotta look out for each other. All right, everybody, be easy. See you next time. Hit the like button.